And what is going through your head right now? Let's start with Shalane.
This is a huge day. I think one that all of us will remember. Kind of treasure these moments, but the last mile was a cross between savoring the moment and just being really grateful that I was almost done. I knew Desi was charging hard, and I just told myself I had to have one last gear if she came up on me. So I tried to approach it like a track race and know that, you know, this is the last hard mile, and if Desi pulls up, I've got to have something. So literally didn't really enjoy that last mile. It felt really long. Just couldn't wait for the finish line to get there, but it was a great day, and just grateful to be on the same team with these women.
Yeah, same thing. Excited to be here and happy to be a part of such a great team. Going into the last mile, it was kind of this internal conflict where I really wanted to make a push and see what I had left, and at the same time I knew Kara was right behind me, and I knew that Amy had, basically made huge surges throughout the race, and I knew that I couldn't assume she had been dropped. So it was kind of like, should I push again or just, protect this spot? And I went back and forth on it, and my calves were just cramping up and tight, and ultimately it was just like, all right, not relax, but finish it up and get the job done. And so I just, I didn't really have enough confidence in being able to catch Shalane and then making another surge, and I didn't want to lose the spot that I had.
The last mile, I was just trying to get to the finish line, basically. I never really imagined myself winning this race based on sort of my short period of time to train for it. And I had definitely run outside of my fitness for a few miles trying to get away from Amy. And so the last mile, I was really just hanging in there, basically.
It was pretty solid through 20, and then they just pulled away, and I don't know, I just didn't quite have enough left, so I tried to fight back, but it wasn't there, and that's okay. Yeah, it was an emotional last mile for sure, but it's fine.
Thanks. We're going to open it up to questions on the floor, and please see us for a mic. Amy.
Amy Shipley, Washington Post. There was a really slow first mile, and it seemed like you guys weren't having any of that. Can you just talk about the decision to push it throughout and make this an honest race?
I was actually really happy with the slow start because I thought, the longer it goes slow, the more I'm going to have on the other end. And so, personally, I was actually totally fine with it.
I was the exact opposite, because I thought the slower it is, the longer Kara and Amy and everyone else is going to be in it. So I figured, let's get this thing going.
I'm with Kara, and I liked the warm-up. The warm-up felt nice. And I knew that was just one last mile that I had to hurt, and but I knew I could tell Desi was twitchy with that. She didn't like that, so I could see that she wanted to assert and get it going, and she did.
Or right here in front.
Jim Gerwick, Running USA. Amy, about 19 miles, you sort of dropped off, maybe 18 and 19, and then you made a big move, not only to regain, but then you surged into the front. Do you think maybe that cost you a little in the later miles? That was a little too aggressive at that point? What was kind of your thinking?
It might have. I felt pretty good at the time. I think I ran out of fuel today. At the beginning, I knew, these are amazing women, and I kind of was trying to test the waters and see where everyone was. I was trying to see if I pushed the pace, if someone would drop. Didn't quite work out, but I think I am fine with the way I raced.
And over here.
My name is Jessica Seabour. I'm from Women's Running Magazine. My question is for Shalane and Kara. What was it like coming to the race as training partners, both in the weeks leading up to the race and then the day of the race? Were you able to work together in any way?
It felt very comforting to know that Kara was in the race, and there were a couple times that we pulled up next to each other, and it just made it feel like we were at home working out, and kind of had this level of calming effect for me. And Kara said just the other day as we were doing our shakeout, she she looked at me and she's like, "I'm so happy I'm not doing this alone." So yeah, we've had a great journey together, and I think it's going to get even better now that we get to train full time for London.
Yeah, it's been so nice having a buddy, and it's the first time I've run a marathon where I'm not here by myself. And Shalane and I are very similar in our preparation and things we like to do, and we're sort of hermits, and it's just been so amazing to have a friend with me. It's made it so awesome. And honestly, today I just kind of like sat on her just like practice. Just sat on her shoulder.
David Moore, USA Today. Shalane, I think you had a PR today by over 3 minutes. What does that make you think about how fast you might be able to run this race?
That's encouraging. When I ran my first marathon, it was 2:28:40. But I knew on that day I was in better shape, so I knew I was capable of something like this, and I believe I'm capable of something even faster, because this was tactical and we were all over the board with some of our splits, but it just shows that there's more work to be done, and to put myself in contention in London, but it's encouraging to know that I'm making progress with each marathon.
Congratulations to all of you. Shalane, your journey to today began in Houston with the half marathon a couple of years ago. Can you just talk about the viability of this dream? And obviously you're going to have some very warm feelings for our city.
Yes. My first significant taste of road racing was here in Houston with the half, and the whole event this weekend has been great.
John Gale, Running Times. This question is for Desiree. Desiree, often you were dictating the pace of this race. How satisfied are you with the way that you approached it and the way that you controlled it?
I think it went really well for me. That was the game plan, was to not let it get soft and let other people that didn't necessarily belong there be there late. You had to break people like Amy, unfortunately, and that's the only way you do it, is by keeping the pressure on, because everyone in that race is really tough. So I did the job I needed to do. I think it cost me late by having to do a little more work than I've ever done before in a race, but it's another great experience, and it's another tool that I'll have in the future.
Kara, given a less than ideal prep period, how concerned were you before the race? How worried were you, or were you confident you could make this team?
I've been a wreck. You can ask Shalane. I don't think I've been this nervous. I can't remember the last time I've been this nervous. But I can't remember the last time I wanted something so bad either. So I was not confident. I was reading Amy's interview on Runner's World, and I told my coach yesterday, everyone's so confident. Everyone can run from every angle. I can't, and he was like, shut up. But, as the race went on, I got more and more confident. I knew I was digging a little bit of a hole. We ran like a 5:20 mile and some low 5:20s, and I knew I was digging a little hole, but I felt like I had to risk it because Amy would not go away. And once, she kind of let us go a little bit, and then with 3 miles to go, I was pretty sure as long as I just maintained my composure, I was going to make it. But I've been very, very nervous for this. And then I got a cold last week, so it's like I have been a wreck. I'm going to sleep really well tonight.
Over here in the back. Could you just wait for the microphone, please?
Mark Wenitz with California Track and Running News. Shalane, you made the podium today. You're on the team going to the games, but the track trials are still coming up. Have you thought ahead to that, and you know where your priorities might be?
Yeah, I think we're going to enjoy this moment, and then I'll talk to my coach and look forward to, literally this has been like on our calendar. Nothing has been planned past this. However, knowing that if we didn't make the team, we were going to be on the track for the trials. But I love our setup. I love the drama of the trials, whether it's the marathon or the track. And so I would love to participate in the track trials, just to be a part of it, because it's an amazing event. So I think, you know, Kara and I are looking forward to getting on the track and just, you know, test different fitness, but everything will be ultimately towards the best preparation for the marathon.
Right here.
This question's for Shalane from Christine Fantasy from Runners World. You talked about how you used visualization a lot for this race. So how well did that fall in line with what happened, and what were you thinking as you were coming down to the finish and you knew you had it?
Yeah, because of my training, I visualized certain aspects. It didn't seem as scary and daunting. I mean, a marathon is a really hard event, and any little advantage that you can give yourself, whether it's mental or physical, you know, just is nice. So, yeah, coming into the last like 3 miles, I felt like I knew the tangents, I knew what to expect. So it was just, I felt confidence over those last 3 miles.
And final question, Bonnie?
Bonnie Ford from ESPN.com. I wondered if any of you have a preference for this format running on the same day as the men as opposed to the single gender format, given the fact that you're with groups, you maybe have training partners who also were able to make this trip. Does it make any difference to you, or do you prefer one or the other?
I went to the New York one and watched the men in 2007, and that was an incredible experience to be a part of and watch. And it was kind of actually almost like a little practice run, because you saw what they had to do beforehand, you saw the press conferences and all that stuff, and it got you excited about your turn. So I enjoyed them separate, but you know, today was great too, and you know, I'll just have to do a little bit of catching up on the men's side afterwards.
I really enjoyed having them together. With, I don't know, 6 miles to go or something, my coach yelled at me that Bev had just won. So it was pretty cool hearing that your teammate had just come through and is making the team and everything and is the champion. So that was really neat, and it was fun traveling with everyone. So I liked it.
Thank you, everyone, for coming today, and we'll see everybody in London next up.